Imagine this. You're called to save a city full of people, but instead of stepping up, you run the other way. That's exactly what Jonah, a prophet of God, did. His story is one of rebellion, redemption, and surprising twists. Jonah was called by God to preach to the people of Nineveh, a city infamous for its wickedness. But Jonah had other plans. He boarded a ship to Tarshish, fleeing as far from Nineveh as possible. When a storm arose, Jonah admitted he was the cause and was thrown into the sea, only to be swallowed by a giant fish. From inside the fish, Jonah repented. After 3 days, the fish spit him out, and Jonah finally obeyed. He preached to Nineveh, warning them of impending destruction. To his shock, the people repented, and God spared them. But instead of rejoicing, Jonah was angry. Why? He believed they didn't deserve mercy. Jonah's journey is packed with practical lessons for us today. Let's uncover 5 life-changing truths from his story. 1. You can't outrun God's plan. Jonah tried to run from God's call, heading to Tarshish instead of Nineveh. But God pursued him through a storm, forcing Jonah to face his purpose. Sometimes we run from responsibilities or callings that feel uncomfortable. But God's plans will always catch up with us. Instead of running, lean into his purpose. You'll save yourself unnecessary detours. 2. Obedience leads to breakthroughs. Inside the belly of the fish, Jonah realized he had no option but to surrender. When he obeyed and went to Nineveh, the entire city repented. Jonah's obedience led to one of the greatest revivals in history. Delayed obedience can delay your blessings. The quicker you align with God's instructions, the quicker you'll see his breakthroughs in your life. 3rd, God's mercy is for everyone. Jonah didn't think the Ninevites deserved God's mercy, but when they repented, God spared them. Jonah was furious, forgetting that he himself had just received God's mercy. Don't put limits on God's forgiveness, whether it's for you, a family member, or someone you dislike. God's mercy is boundless. We're called to extend that same grace to others. 4. Don't let pride block your purpose. Jonah's anger after Nineveh repented wasn't just about them. It was about his pride. He wanted to see them punished, but God reminded Jonah that it wasn't about him. It was about saving souls. Pride can block us from seeing the bigger picture. Let go of personal grudges or selfish desires and trust God's greater plan. It's not about us. It's about his purpose. 5. Trust God even when you don't understand. When the plant that shaded Jonah died, he complained bitterly. God used it as a lesson. Jonah cared more about a plant than the lives of 120,000 people in Nineveh. God sees beyond what we can comprehend, and his ways are always for the best. Trust God, especially when life doesn't make sense. He sees the bigger picture, and his plans are always for our good and his glory. Jonah's story teaches us that God's mercy, patience, and purpose are far greater than we can imagine. Whether we're running, doubting, or struggling with pride, God is always ready to guide us back to his will. So, which lesson from Jonah's story resonates most with you? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring lessons from the Bible.